You know, it's a lovely little twist on a classical steak. It's a little bit sweeter. It's a fantastic Japanese way of cooking, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. The type of steak that I'm using today is a lovely sirloin, and as usual, I've taken it out of the fridge about 10-15 minutes ago, and we've just let it come up to room temperature. So what I'm going to do is start off, I'm going to season it really well with black pepper. Now, I'm not going to season this with salt today because we're using soy sauce, which I think just has enough salt in it already that along with salt on the steak now would probably overpower it. So generous amount of black pepper, and over here I've got a pan on a really high heat. I'm going to get some grapeseed oil in there, basically something with a high smoking point. Olive oil would be no use here whatsoever. So you want to get a really good heat on that. Literally leave your pan sitting on there for about 1 minute so there's some nice smoke coming off. And as soon as we get that, we're literally going to sear these. They're pretty thin, so we're going to give them about 1.5 minutes on each side, and that'll ensure that we get a nice medium rare steak. So in it goes, just like that. Now the beauty of this dish is it's another one of those dishes that we cook the steak in the pan and we'll make the sauce in that same pan. Now basically, teriyaki is made up of 4 ingredients every single time. Soya sauce, quite a good quality one. Mirin, which is also a type of rice wine, not quite as strong as sake, which is the next ingredient. But mirin, just that little bit weaker, but you wouldn't want to use just one. They both complement each other really, really well, and that's why we have the 2 of them in here. And we also have a little bit of sugar. The teriyaki is a sort of a nice sweet sauce, and that's a really big appeal with it. So basically, our steak has been on for about 90 seconds on that side. We'll just flip it over. And by not touching that, by just browning those steaks, I've got a really nice even colour. So we'll give it another 1.5 minutes on that side. So those steaks are really nice and even brown on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking it over to my funny little contraption here, which is basically 2 forks crisscrossed. And what that does is that keeps them just lifted up off the plate, and they're not going to sit there and wallow in their own juices once those juices start to flow. And in the 2 to 3 minutes that those rest, we're going to make our fantastic teriyaki sauce. So in the same pan, we got lots of nice heat. The first thing that goes in there is some sugar. So we'll just let that caramelize for about 20 or 30 seconds. You can see it starting to change colour really nicely now. And then the next thing we're going to do is get our 2 different alcohols in there, which is our lovely mirin and our lovely sake. So that's just starting to caramelize nicely now. And then goes the sake. Now don't be worried when you get that little flame coming back. That's only the alcohol burning off. So as long as you stand well back, it looks a lot more dramatic than it actually is. So just giving it a little shake and using a little metal spatula will just get any little excess pieces off. We'll also put our mirin in there. So you can see that starting to reduce really nicely now. And the last ingredient is our soy sauce. All those lovely sugars, like the natural sugars in the mirin and the sake, are going to combine with that lovely sugar that we put in there, and that's going to reduce down and thicken ever so slightly to make an incredible teriyaki sauce. So you can see after about 2 or 3 minutes, that teriyaki sauce has just thickened up really nicely, and it's reduced to about 1/3 of its original volume. So going back to my steaks, I'm just going to set those into that lovely sweet teriyaki sauce. And we're not cooking them at this stage. We're just doing enough to warm them back up basically, because we really want that nice medium rare. So just twist them a couple of times, make sure they're nicely coated with the sauce. And that's it. That's a wonderful teriyaki. We're going to take that off and slice it nice and thinly against the grain and serve it up perfectly.